Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel.
Adoro Luís Dias. Cai Tiago Carrico. Muito. Também estou aqui a ser atacado pelas plantas.
Se necessitas para dentro. Alguém me escuta já dentro? Nadie. Welcome everybody to ABANCA Pantin Classic Galicia Pro. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We want to welcome you to this qualifying series, 1000 qualifying series, starting today with the semifinals, going straight into the men's semifinals. Heat 1 just underway. So presenting this Heat 1, we have Adura Matriani representing Euskadi with Luís Dias. Joining me here, I'm David Prescott. Joining me here on the booth, I have former WQS Warriors, José Ferreira and Felipe Gervis. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, arriving pretty much a couple of days ago from Lisbon. Welcome to Pantin. Welcome, Felipe. Welcome, Zé.
Yeah, sorry, Zé. It's an absolute honor to be here. It's been a while since I've been in Pantin, so it's really good to be back. We have some fun waves for this last couple of rounds. I'm really psyched to get it started.
Yeah, it's true. Hello, David, Flip, everyone that's following us at home. Yeah, we have really fun waves. We have different peaks. Actually, both surfers decided to surf the same peak. But yeah, it's really great to be back again at the mightiest Pantin. This is a classic location. We've been having surf competitions here forever, for a lot of years. And this is just a really amazing stop on tour, right? All the beach is very beautiful. The waves are great. The location is really amazing. So couldn't be more glad to be back here again to commentate this last heat of this competition.
Of the first stop on the European Tour this year, and actually, José, we've been coming here for 35 years, well, more than 35 years.
Wow.
This is the 35th edition of a classic, Pantin Classic. I think that the only event we've been running for a longer time is Bells Beach. We're definitely the longer event here in Europe. And I was thinking a couple of days ago, the name of the event since day one, it's been the Classic. how gutsy were those guys on the first year to call the event the Classic?
Yeah.
There has to be an intention to run for a lot of years. Already up and riding on this heat, we see Adura Matrian together with Luis Diaz, already one score into the heat. So we're going to, after introducing ourselves, we're going to jump straight into the heat. This is Luis Diaz up and riding, coming from the beautiful Canary Islands, already started with a 5-point ride before we saw Adura Matrian. Two interesting surfers. Different, I'm not going to call it different generations, but there's a few years in between these two competitors.
Oh yeah, and totally different styles. Because Adur is, even though he's a small little guy, he's really strong and fast, and he might be really good on these conditions, small waves. And Luis is a really good surfer from Canary Islands, a bit bigger, so he might struggle a little. He already has a 5-point on his board, and Adur started with a 2.67, so good way to start a heat, definitely.
Yeah, well, this is the first heat. Let's watch the replay here. So as you say, very strong surfer. You can see he's very vertical. And this is going to be an exciting one. Let's see this one again. So first slash there, little snap, and then hits it. So it's always challenging when you're starting a competition day for everyone, right? But also for the judges, because they're setting up the scale in terms of points. But this is the last one from
Luis. Really finishing turn really strong.
Yeah, really strong.
Yeah, it's as you can see, it's really hard to surf these kind of waves. It's small, it's mushy. It's not the waves aren't too powerful, so the surfers have to generate their own speed, and that's going to be the point of difference for today, I think. If you surf fast and power, you're going to get the scores, definitely.
A good point that Zé just made with being the first heat of the day, and the judges kind of adapting the scale. Normally, the judges have a chance to do that on the free surf prior to the start of the heat. Unfortunately, we have very foggy days these last couple of days, so it's pretty much the first waves that the judges see today, although we are on the 5th day of competition already, so there will be plenty of surf being taking place under these conditions, pretty similar conditions the last few days, so that helps the judge a little bit. But yeah, you're right. We see Adur up and riding once again. Adur, a former winner here. Last year he was the winner against a very powerful surfing against Joan Duru. So Adur winning that final, then going into the challenger events, and Adura Matrian doing really good, not going all the way into the finals, but on the first stop on the Australian leg of the challenger series. Adur did really good. His second generation surfing coming from Zarauz on the Basque Country. His father, Ibona Matrian, is one of the biggest and most...
He's an absolute legend.
Legend, yeah. He's a big wave rider in the Basque Country, one of the first big wave riders here in Europe. So
and he has a younger brother or older?
No, he has, I think it's younger brother.
Yeah. He's a really good surfer as well. It's Ikera Matrian.
Ikera Matrian, exactly.
And he charges.
Yeah,
he's a really small kid, but it's on their blood, I think.
Yeah, they came for a very interesting committee in Zarauz. Unfortunately, for the last few years, we're not having an event in Zarauz, but Zarauz is probably the most traditional beach for surfing in the whole of Basque Country. You have Pucas is located there, that very well-known brand Pucas with all the family, the Letamandia family, and we've been seeing a lot of surfings coming. Aritz Aramburu, he surfs a lot in Zarauz. He's actually from a small town very near to Zarauz, so there's a big tradition of Basque surfers coming our way. And now talking a little bit about Luis Diaz, Luis with a pretty good start of the heat already.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to, well, during the day we're going to see what a 5-point is worth. There's some days that a 5-point is a good wave.
Exactly.
I think this is the last day, so I really think surfers will have to risk it, risk everything and really give it their best. But I was having a chat with Luis Diaz just this morning, and he was really motivated. As you mentioned, it was foggy, but he didn't know how the waves work because you couldn't really see in the morning. And he was putting his wetsuit on. He went in, going for a surf. So, yeah, Luis Diaz, I think he's very, very motivated. He was talking about next year's challengers, so he's focused.
This is a blue priority, so Luis had priority on that one. Not interfering either whatsoever with the wave of Luis, but anyways, it was a blue priority. Yeah, Luis coming from the islands, he's a power surfer, what the Aussies usually... I think he has a good air game as well, but he's the classic meat and potatoes kind of surfer, what the Aussies call meat and potatoes. Very strong surfer, very clean on his rail, very good approach to the leap. Coming from the Canary Islands, he used to power surfing, and he was injured, struggled a little bit with injuries on his knees for a couple of years, so I think he's very, very motivated. This is the first stop on the European, on the regionals qualifying, so I think Luis is kind of rebooting for this year, and I think he's going to have a good year. Already a good start, going all the way into the semis.
Oh yeah, definitely. For people at home, basically this is the first stop, and of the Challenger Series in Europe, and people, the surfers are aiming for that top 10 that takes you all the way to the Challenger Series. So there's a lot of points in game. There's a lot of everyone is starting. They want to start the year as best as possible, and this is a really good result for Luis Diaz and Adura as well. It's a good way to start, and yeah, it should be exciting. It's going to be an exciting European leg, definitely.
They're on totally different mind setups, and even on the rest kind of side, because I believe that Adur came straight from Balito. Adur is competing on the Challenger Series. Luis Diaz not. He didn't qualify in the top 10 last year. As you see, Adur once again. And there you go. A small kid, but very powerful surfing.
Yeah, this was a 2-point ride, and I'm pretty sure this is this was a 5.83 two-turn combo. Really nice wave by Adur. He's already in the first place with a 5 point. Oh no, he actually is still in second. Luis Diaz has two waves of 5 points, and Adur is looking for a 4.17 to improve his score and take that first place and go to the final.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a day a lot about strategy in the water, because, you know, there's waves. There's a lot of waves, as we were saying.
Oh, yeah.
But truth is, it's going to be interesting to understand which strategy surfers will have to take, because, you know, in a day like today, if you catch a good wave, if you catch the best waves of the heat, your probabilities of going through will really improve a lot. So,
yeah, as you can see, sorry, Zé, you can see they're sitting in two different sides of the beach.
Yeah, at the moment,
that's what you were saying. It's that strategy before going on the water will be really important, and you have to figure out where you want to sit and which waves you want to catch, because there's a lot of waves, but there's not too much opportunities.
We are running hits at 30 minutes. We are in Europe this time of the year, pretty much all over the year, but this time of the year the tides are very big. On 30 minutes there's a lot of incoming water, a lot of outgoing water. Yeah. So I believe you have also to be in tune with that at the start of the hit. Realize what's the tide going to do. If that's still the best place, you might start your hit in one peak and might finish your hit actually on a different part of the beach. This is Luis Diaz?
Yeah, this is the replay of the second 5 points of Luis Diaz. He's going to finish really strong on this last turn.
Yeah, this last turn was... So finishing strong will be a very important point today for surfers. So what do you think today will be, well, from the judging criteria point of view, what do you think the judges would be looking for in a day like today?
If you think about surfing, there's a whole list of criteria, and one of the most important parts, especially when the waves are this small, is going to be the speed. Yeah. And the fastest you surf, the more power you're going to put on your turn. So I think that's going to be the point of difference for today. We were actually right before the heat started. We were watching Tiago Carrick free surfing, and he actually looked really comfortable on these conditions. He's going to be on the next heat against...
he's going against Kai
Odriozola.
Oh, that's going to be a really good heat, because Kai is a really good surfer as well. So I'm thinking that's going to be the point of difference. And maybe if you take it to the air, but you actually need speed to take it to the air. So I'm pretty sure the speed is going to be the point of difference. The fastest you surf, the better scores you're going to get.
So as usual, speed, power, pretty much what the judges are looking for on every single event. But yeah, good point. Tiago Carrique, well, he had a hit with João Duru, and Tiago will coming up on the next hit, but we can start talking about that a little bit. He had a hit with João Duru on last Thursday, a couple of days ago, and really good on the air game, Tiago Carrique. On small conditions, although it was a little bit better wind for the airs on these lefts, on that day, but he's very, very strong on the air and very consistent on his air game.
There's almost no wind today, so I don't think that's going to be a factor for the air.
Yeah.
So if you can take it to the air, it's going to be rewarded for sure, even though it's small and the waves are not too powerful. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be not too easy. We see Adur, he was paddling for this one, but it ended up being Luis. Nice little snap, and then another little slap. As you can see, he's surfing actually with a lot of speed for his size. So there's a lot. Always, if you surf with speed, you're gonna see so much more water on the turns.
Yeah, definitely. And you can really see there's a bank there, you know, where the waves are breaking. We can't really see yet, but we'll show it later. But there's more waves to the right, more waves to the left. Pantin, David, really is a classic place that delivers every time, and there's waves all around here.
Yeah, which is a very good thing, not only for the competition, for the practice free surf sessions as well. You can have your heat, and you can be practicing further down the beach a little bit at a place we call Marnella. On different swell directions, we have different moods of Pantin. Zé was explaining really good to the right side. You can see right now there's a huge cliff right there with what you call the Roca de los Percebes, the rock of the
nice.
goose barnacles, which kind of works as an indicator on bigger swells as well. And closer to that rock, sometimes you had a really good right-hander with some wedges. You got some really good surfing closer here to the right side. A few years ago, both of you guys competed here, so you know what I'm talking about. Another issue here, it's the water temperature. For a guy like Adura Matriain, it's not an issue. He's coming from the Basque Country. He surfs it on winter time. He's used to it. Luis Diaz comes from the beautiful Canary Islands, where it's pretty much mellower. The water is a lot warmer. So that's a little bit, I don't think at this level, for a 30-minute hit, that makes an issue. But it's still, if it's a slow hit, that might be a situation as well. You start getting a little bit cold.
We went surfing 2 days ago, or yesterday morning, and we actually went to a little spot further south, and we ran up to Lucia Martinho, and she said we asked her how's the water, and she said it's actually pretty cold, and it was like 30 degrees outside, so you don't actually think it's gonna be that cold. And as soon as we got on the water, it was like, oh my god, my hands and my feet are freezing. And we ended up surfing for 40 minutes because it was actually really, really cold.
Yeah, well, during summer in Europe with a 3-2, you know, the issue is not if it's not if you're going to be cold, it's if you're going to be too warm on a 3-2. And it was actually really, really cold. But I think it's some kind of a phenomena because there was a storm here, a windy storm with some thunder, and that might have influenced the water temperature, which is at around 12 or 13 degrees. And this is too extreme for
this time of the year.
For this time of the year. So
they are used to have those water temperatures, but not in the summer. It's not normal. We spoke to a local guy yesterday.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was saying like this is actually not normal. It's always kind of cold, but not this cold. It's probably a north swell. It's coming from the Arctic, and it's really, really cold.
Yeah.
So they're just standing by and sitting for like 5 minutes already. So their hands and feet probably are, especially Luis, as you said, Adur is used to the cold waters.
yeah, talk about the amount of adaptability you need to have as a competitor, right? Some of these surfers were surfing in warm waters just a week ago or something, and now they're surfing completely different waves, completely different conditions, completely different water temperature. It's you really have to have that one figured out.
I have a question for both of you. What do you think it's easier to come from a warm place environment where you surf every day and on board shorts, and then you have to compete on a wetsuit, or the other way around? You're a surfer that is used to a wetsuit all the time, and then you go all the way to Australia or Hawaii and you surf on your board shorts.
Let's watch first this one of Luis Diaz.
Nice little first turn, a little floater. One more foam climb. Nice surfing by Luis Diaz. Let's see if he can reach out the last section.
He's trying to improve on a 5.
Wow. Hey,
Nice rhythm on that wave.
Really nice surfing by Luis Diaz. He's going to put a bit more pressure on Adur, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this was a good wave because he was able to connect exactly, and to put two good. Let's watch the replay. But look at this one. The wave is nice. Nice spray there as well.
You know, I like his pace.
Diversity as well, right?
I like his pace, you know. He took his time at the first part of the wave, connecting really good those two first moves. I believe those are the money turns on that first part of the wave. Then one more. So
Finishing up really
flow,
strong.
there was flow there, you know. Powerful turns on the first part of the wave as well. He was trying to improve on a 5. Right now there's only 400ths of a point. Talking about totals between Luis in the lead on a couple of 5s, a 10-point total against 9.96 of Adur. Adur has the best of the heat still with Adur at 5v3. Then Luis with a couple of 5s, although all the judges gave him different scores. The average comes out the same. Then a 4-1-3 for Adur as his backup. This will be an important wave in the heat if Luis improves. Right now, the requirement of the Adur is only a 4-1-7. I think it's still a very, very tight heat with 9 minutes and 20 seconds
Yeah,
ahead
I'm
of us.
pretty sure we're gonna have tight heats the whole day. The whole heats, because as I said, there's a lot of waves, but there's a few short opportunities, and you have to grab those and surf as best as you can. As we're gonna see if Luis actually improves on that 5. We're still waiting for scores.
I think it's going to be close to that. It actually doesn't, for 1/10 of a point. It's a 4.9, so situation remains exactly the same. Luis in the lead on a couple of 5s. Adur with the best way of the heat, a 5-8-3. Then a lower backup, a 4-1-3, a 4-1-7 for the lead with 8 minutes and 45. It's now Adur with priority. Zé, answering Felipe's question about what's easier for a surfer from a warmer country going to surf in a colder country, or the opposite?
You know, I think it's a different answer if you come from a cold, cold water place or a warm water place.
So let me guess, you prefer to go into warmer water?
I prefer to go into warmer water, but for instance, Tomás Fernandes, a Portuguese surfer, some time ago he didn't really enjoy to surf on the board shorts. He preferred to surf with a wetsuit because he felt more solid and more powerful. So you know, it could be, but just the freedom you have. Let's just watch this replay. He was waiting a long time for this wave, use his priority.
You could tell from the first turn he got already a little bit lost balance and just not committing to the rest of the wave.
His feet were not on the right place from the beginning. As you see, he paddles. He's gonna up and riding, and right away on this turn, it just the weight on the distribution of his weight was not right, and then as soon as you start a wave wrong on the wrong foot, normally it's really hard to get the momentum
and stay focused the whole time. You're in the back of your mind the whole time is
especially when it's a shorted wave. If you have like a wave like Ribeirão or something,
or Jeffries, which is a good example with Jeffries.
You can make a mistake on your first turn and actually have time to improve. But even sometimes it's not easy. If you make your first mistake as soon as you take off, you boggle a rail or something like that. It's not.
It's always on the back of your mind.
Yeah.
You're in when you're thinking already. Okay, I have to surf really good, but my God, I just did a mistake on the first part of the wave, and that's also impacting the judges. Judges realize that, you know, and they kind of still paying attention to the rest of the wave, but that error that you did at the start, they're going to stay with that, and you're going to get lower scores.
Especially in these kind of conditions.
And at this level too.
Yeah, and at this level, both for the surfers and for the judges, and for these kind of conditions, when you start a wave and you really feel the flow, if you start the wave well, it progressively gets better.
Yes.
Throughout the wave, right? So you could see that last one of Luis Diaz, even though it wasn't, he didn't better his score there, you could see that he was, that part that he connected wasn't an easy part, and if those first 2 turns weren't as good, maybe he couldn't make that connection so well. So surfing really is, when you're in the wave, a progressive thing, and if you can feel the flow, you're probably going to do it better each turn, you know.
Yeah, 2 of the judges thought that was the second best way of the heat, actually, the last one of Luis Diaz, you know. So yeah, totally right. Still staying with the team we were talking about a little bit. Well, let's watch first. Splitting peak. Now we're on the drone.
Wow,
Adur did a really nice first turn,
again.
really good second turn. Unfortunately, the right-hander, I was watching with Zé, the right-hander just, it ends it up on a channel. So it's really deep sand right there and doesn't have a finishing turn. But if you put 2 really good turns on the first one, because we actually saw it a few opportunities. We were watching right beside the place we're staying. right now, and we actually saw some right-handers with really good opportunity to put 1-2 turns. Let's
Watch
see.
the replay.
Nice little first carve. He almost misses it there, but then snap on the second one.
Almost gladly he was a bit out of balance, but that also made him hit that second
On the
section
right-
better.
on the
So
right
I'm
spot.
very interested.
There's the score.
Yeah,
Best wave of the heat.
6-5-7. So the judges are really looking for good waves and good turns. So the same old quality, quantity, quality, not
over-
quantity.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's what the judges want to see. Good turns.
Guys,
You don't
we-
need too many.
We're going to see now Adur, just a quick in and out, because the priority was with Luis.
Yeah, as you can see, the left-hander is it's longer, but it doesn't have that much power, as much power as the right-hander. So, as you were saying, Adur did the first turn, and he actually it looked like he was going to miss the second one. But sometimes those little mistakes on surfing just put you on the right position to do the right turn on the right time.
And brings a little bit more drama as well, and sometimes the judges are impressed with that as well. Looks like if you're almost out of control, looks like you put your all effort
Yeah.
into that turn, you know. And
it shows that you actually pushed
Committed.
hard.
Yeah, you
committed
committed.
and pushed hard on the turn. So it's on a really good spot. And Luis looks like it needs a 7.4, which is not that easy on these kind of conditions, as we
This is,
see him up and
replay.
riding.
Yeah, this is a replay of last one of Luis, I believe.
Yeah,
As you
exactly.
can see, the wave is kind of flat. It doesn't have much power, and Adur make a really good choice going on the right. As you see, Luis is looking for the rights as well.
Yeah, Luis is now fighting for the first place, because he's the last one of Adur Amatriani. He took the lead with that 6.37. Now we have Luis Diaz chasing a 7.4,
Yeah,
which
it's
under
not
these
easy.
conditions, it's a hard task.
Yeah, you have to find that wave.
Yeah.
The wave of the heat.
Talking about that, guys, we saw a couple of waves already, a couple of lefts on the backhand by Adur Amatrian. His high score on the forehand, on the right-hander. Do you think is there any advantage under these conditions surfing on your backhand, on your forehand?
I really think it depends from surfer to surfer. Some surfers prefer to surf small waves on their front, on their forehand, and some others on their backside. So, I really think there's not a closed rule for that. If it was for me, I prefer to surf small waves on my backside,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
you can really be more vertical, and it's easy to be more vertical
And it's easy to impress the judges if you put it the board
on
vertical.
that, because you have more pressure and you can
But then
look more solid.
But then when it comes to the carves, if it's more...
It's really hard to do
To
a
carve on
proper
small
yeah,
waves.
a proper carve on small waves.
But you're right, David. Like the last
first turn,
the,
yeah,
the,
the first
the
turn.
last wave of Adur, the best wave of the day so far. He started off with a really nice carve.
So, I mean,
and that's something you can only do on your forehand.
yeah, but
Exactly.
The point
That was
of
my point.
I mean, Oki
Yes.
changes that a little bit, right? But
but I think the point of difference is what the wave allows you to do. As we see on this drone view, nice little wave by Luis. True solid turns. Let's see if he improves his score. As I was saying, it depends on the quality of the wave. The right-hander from Adur, the wave actually gave him opportunity to carve, which is kind of rare.
let's
As you
watch
see,
the replay here.
Yeah, we saw it from the drone angle. Now let's see it from the beach angle as well.
One snap, one off the top, and one nice snap. He might improve, but I don't
It's a
think
7.4.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's gonna be hard for him. These lefts aren't that easy to surf at the moment in terms of energy.
Especially on your
really,
forehand.
especially on your forehand, you really need to move your legs to create
what
some
I'm
rhythm.
thinking right now is that Philippe was saying, and he's right, that the right is finishing pretty much on the deep water channel. The left has some holes there on the sandbank, so not all of those connect. And I think that at this stage, I feel like the right has a little bit more critical section, the first part of the wave. If you have a chance, it will be closing out faster than the left. But looks like there's a little bit more steepness on the wave on the right hand at the first part.
Yeah.
But still, it depends on the set.
It's better if you look for that kind of waves, the waves that actually allow you to go vertical, and there's not too much. Honestly, we just saw Adur's wave actually doing that. So there's
Exactly.
one wave, but if there's one wave, as you see Adur going to the left, hitting really strong on the first turn, and
Oof.
wow,
That was a good
low
turn.
side. That was a really
That was
good
a little video clip, right?
turn. That was a really
that
really nice
that
turn.
drone image was great as well.
You can
Great way to see this wave.
Yeah, the whole board and the fins releasing on the second turn. So it shows how confident he is.
Yeah.
He's really confident. So
He's coming in now. There's a reason for that. There's only 5 seconds remaining, so no way he's going to have another opportunity. Let's watch the replay once
the
again.
wave had a steeper wall. He hit it really strong. He had
But this one,
that
wow,
was
he
a
really risked it. And to do a kind of turn like that with with almost no energy at all on the
I was
wave.
going to say that. It's a huge risk to put that amount of power on your back foot on such a wave that's so gutless. So
exactly.
if he
good
needed
technique.
if he actually needed the score, I don't think he would risk it.
Yeah.
He would just go for. But he was
Safer
pretty,
surfing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was pretty comfortable. So he just put a little signature mark of his own on that kind of turn, and it was really nice to see Adur surfing on these kind of conditions. A small but really strong guy, and as we said, powerful and speed, it makes the difference.
he's been unbeatable here since last year. It's been
Oh, yeah.
like 12 hits already.
Literally.
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 Unbeat. He was the winner of the last edition here in Pantin. He's now on the semi-finals, on the final once again, Adura Matrien, after defeating Joan Duru last year on proper surfing, which tells a lot about Adur. Joan Duru is one of the most powerful surfers here in Europe. So Adur, he was like half the size, half the weight of Joan Duru, and he still won the hit. Now already on semi-final number 2, another Basque, Kai Odriozola. This is Tiago Carrique upon riding, representing La France.
Wow, this wave looks nice. Nice first turn, then he continues on that second snap. He's able to connect. Let's see if he has a finish. Maybe go for the air. No, he doesn't. He
Nice.
finishes off strong.
That's-
So we do have a really nice heat in our hands again. Tiago Carrique starting the heat there, and Kai Odriozola.
Yeah, this is the perfect
On the right.
As we see Kai, just in a small umper riding. As you can see, the difference between a bigger surfer and a light-footed surfer. We just saw Tiago making 4 or 5 turns on a proper wave, and Luis was actually struggling a little to get speed enough to make at least 2 turns. We're gonna eventually watch the replay from Tiago's wave, but this is it. As you can see, he's just really light on his feet. He has that flare, nice first turn, straight into a nice little slash. One more off the top, and he actually just going for a roundhouse, and he's gonna finish right on the inside with a strong little turn. Nice little wave from Tiago.
Yeah. David, and now the judges have something to compare with.
Yes, and they do have access to replays. So good surfing by Kai Odriozola on the right hand. Again, I'm putting
Your coins on the forehand.
Yeah,
Is that it?
on the right-handers as well. I'll rather be out there and wait. I reckon you have less opportunities, but you only need your top 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been seeing the highest scores. This one of Tiago was really good surfing, but I like those right-handers. I think it's more steep, especially if you're on a forehand. That makes a lot of difference. So I'm liking the right-handers. Let's see how this battle goes. Another Basque surfer, young one, Kai Odriozola, coming from the beautiful town of San Sebastian, Donosti, and actually being coached by a Portuguese coach with Zé Seabra. He's been working with Kai for a while now. And again, we're talking about how good we've been doing lunchtime between us, talking how good the Basques are, and already one Basque surfer qualified to the final. That's Adur. And now let's see Kai. We have scores already. I think Tiago is going to take a little bit of an advantage, half a point better than a wave of Kai Odriozola.
That's interesting because Kai had 3 turns on the right. In Tiago, like 5 turns. But the waves, the quality of the waves were different, right? There was a bit, the right was a bit more steep. There was a bit more wall to it. But Tiago Carrique really showing off, really exploded.
Yeah, I think that was the point of difference. He exploded on his turns, and Kai was actually just putting. I'm not gonna say conservative surfing, but because he actually surfed really good that wave. But comparing to Tiago's lightness and footwork, it was definitely better, and you can see the judges rewarding him the speed and the power.
Yeah, from all the 5 judges, 4 of the judges liked better the wave of Tiago. Just 1 judge liked a little bit better the wave of Kai Odriozola. But anyways, very, very not similar, but very close scores. Just half a point between the two surfers. Now it's Kai with priority, as you can see.
It was a very balanced first exchange of waves. So we have a very good heat setup. As you were saying, David, this new generation of Basque surfers, it's amazing how many good surfers are coming out.
On the boys and on the girls.
Exactly.
Yeah. Both, on both sides.
It's really great. Let's see
The
on
replay.
this.
It compresses really hard, and this is the point of difference.
Yeah, that's
I
what you
think.
were saying.
That first turn.
I think this is live action.
This
though.
is live, yeah.
So, good first turn. The wave kind of dies out a little bit, and so 2 turns. He really wants to start off. Not start off, but really start putting something on the scoreboard, because he wants to put some pressure on Kai and then just sit and choose the best waves. That's a trademark, a standard kind of strategy for every heat. So you start your heat well, and then you have time to replace your scores.
And you start your easy busy. You start surfing as soon as possible. I think that's a no-brainer. That's a strategy for every single hit. As soon as possible, obviously. Try to manage a little bit your priority. Choose a good wave to start. But it's better that you start with an average one, just waiting for 10 minutes for a good one. Huh?
You can end up being on those kind of positions that you're waiting for the right one, and you wait for too long, and you missed half the heat, and you didn't do anything. But sometimes it works out. But it's usually, especially on these kind of conditions, you have to have something on your board as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're gonna be on that position where the other guy is doing scores, even if they're small. That you're just watching going around you and doing waves, and you're just sitting there doing nothing, and it can get on your head. So on these kind of conditions, it's really important you put 2 scores as soon as possible. And from now on, as you said, he's gonna wait and sit for the best wave of the heat. And we have Kai with the priority. He's probably going to do the same thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how they read the lineup and how they're going to figure out which wave is the best wave.
And Flip, especially at this level, we're still on the qualifying series. I see a lot of times surfers starting not that strong, but you get like a couple of 4s, and your total is an 8-point ride. Then the other surfer is listening out there, actually to the beach analysis, saying you're needing an 8. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not, and that gets in your head.
Exactly.
You're needing a couple of 4 points right. That's what you need. A 3-5 and a 4-5 will be more than enough. But you keep on hearing that. An 8, an 8, an 8. And then the other guy goes and puts another 5. And now you're needing a 9.
9, exactly.
You know? And then if you score straight away, your requirement will go down again to a 4 or 5. But it comes to the last minutes of the heat, last 5 minutes, then you're stuck with that. Then you can only do it with 1 single score. You actually will be needing that 9 points. But for the start of the heat, a lot of times I see that happening, you actually need a couple of 4s.
As we see Kai, nice first turn, straight into a second one, a 2-turn combo by Kai Odriozola. It's going to get into the mix, and
he wants to do the same thing as Thiago. He had a 4 points on his last one, so he's in first place. Kai needs a 4.53. That's the replay. So nice first turn. The second one wasn't as explosive as he could have been, but he's going to put a second score. That's what he needs at the moment.
I actually liked it because he connected really well the first turn with the second one. Maybe that was the reason why he went kind of late and he wasn't that explosive, because he actually drew the lines really, really well, which is really hard on these kind of conditions. So the judges might reward that, because
and they do.
Yeah,
5 points.
5 points, and again, he's keeping busy. He's out there, he's keeping busy.
And he went to first place.
Yeah, and he took the first place. There you go. And Tiago Rick needing a 4.5. A very even hit again. Only half a point between the both.
It's going to be super tight.
Yeah, this one's going to be a nail biter.
Guys, it's small, and sometimes on the man-on-man hits it's pretty slow, but there's a lot of opportunities out there. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. This wave looks good. Nice first one, second one, and then a third. So the wave wasn't that great, but just shows you how much he wants to go through.
So now Thiago will be chasing a 4.5. Kai will be trying to improve on a 5. Still plenty of time ahead of us. 21 minutes on these 30-minute hits. Priority with Tiago Rick. And once again, we see the wave of Kai Odriozola on his backhand.
Yeah, well surfed, but fortunately the wave didn't have that much potential. But still, well surfed. I don't think it's going to improve his score, but still, it always gets in the head of the other opponent when you're sitting out there and the other guy is actually doing a lot more waves. But Thiago is getting there. He's still young, isn't he?
Yeah, very young surfer. And
They're both really young.
Very. I think Kai it's a little bit younger than Thiago.
Kai is 17, I
Yeah,
think.
Kai's kind of the same generation as the surfer we saw before of Adura Matrian. They're pretty much on the.
Aduri 17 years
Aduri is very young too, you know. Aduri is very young too. So I think they're still teens, pretty much, you know. I think Thiago Rico is on his later teens, I think.
But maybe early 20s.
Yeah, but they competed together on the juniors, you know, pretty much. All of these guys competed together on the junior. Luis Diaz, who lost on the last seat, is I think I'm not going to say the oldest, but the less young. He's the less young, but still pretty young.
Which is kind of interesting, isn't it? Because you just we were talking. Me and Zé were talking about it when we were coming here. The last top 10 of Europe. It's pretty much the same guys that we actually compete against like 10 years ago. It's pretty much the same generation. And on the first tour, on the first stop of the new regional series, you have in 4 surfers, 3 are younger than 20. So it's really interesting. Maybe we're gonna see a change of guard right now. Who knows?
Yeah, I definitely think this is the change of guard era. We have so many new good surfers coming out of Europe. You can really call it the new generation is taking over. We have surfers as Colly Vast, all the Basque generation, a lot of French, really good surfers.
Some new Portuguese coming into the game as well.
Some new Portuguese coming as well. Well, Afonso Antunes, Guilherme Ribeiro, they're part of this generation, I would say. So I think we can be hopeful and also confident about the next surfing generation in Europe.
Zé and Flip, does that gives you an extra motivation? Because you guys were pretty much on the same kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
You guys were the new school. It was like a big gap between you guys and the previous generation. We had like Tiago Pires, José Gregorio, some of the guys were winning it for ages now. And then a huge contingent of Portuguese surfers start coming in. Same generation as Frederico Moraes, Vasco Ribeiro, Zé, Flip. You're all the same generation. So you had like an extra motivation to beat the old school guys, the older guys.
Definitely.
And how do they look at you guys?
I think
it's never easy, right?
Yeah,
It's never easy, exactly.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating as a new generation.
For you or for them? For both?
Yeah, I think it's for both, but more for the younger generation watching the older guys. They're here a long time ago, for a long time.
Did they hassle you? Did they went like, I'm
it's
older than you?
You
You're
know,
just
it's different.
It's so much faster than you think. You know you know what they say about beating your idols.
Yes.
And that just happens way faster than you're expecting. As we see, Kai again, nice first slash there, good turn, and then the wave kind of fades out. Let's wait for the replay on that wave as well on the other angle. But
nice little first carve.
Yeah, right.
The first turn looked
he's
really
in
good.
tune.
Yeah. As we see, he's coming off the bottom. Nice carving. It's really hard to do. As you can see, he's really good on transitions.
Really good.
Yeah.
True.
It just compresses really hard in between turns, and that's why he always keeps his speed.
Yeah, and also really nice lines on the wave. He uses the space of the wave.
So that's the part of the criteria we're talking about flow, very much.
Yeah, exactly.
He fulfills the whole part of the wave. He's not a surfer that you saw on Thiago. It's a different style. Thiago surfs with a higher line, and it doesn't use the whole wave. The bottom comes from the middle, which gives you speed. You get a lot of speed doing that, but it's different because
you don't use as much space. The word is amplitude.
Amplitude.
It was
Exactly.
it was a word that kind of changed my approach towards surfing. You can see surfers that have amplitude in their surfing. It really makes a difference because they utilize the space of the wave, and so they can draw lines with more speed. They can create bigger lines, more powerful lines.
Is really hard on small waves.
It's really hard on small waves.
There's not too many guys that actually are able to use amplitude on small waves, and Kai is actually impressing me a lot because he actually improved his score. It's a 5.23 on the last one.
What you said just brings me to like the top 7 guys on the world tour right now. guys like Felipe Toledo, very good examples of that, like Jack Freestone. All of those guys are using the whole part of the wave with a lot of amplitude and again, the downtimes, keeping the flow. Felipe, I think it's a really good example of that, you know. The way he connects the board, you know, it looks like ultra fast, but at the same time, so precise, you know.
For me, the guy who had the best amplitude and the best transition in between turns is Julian Wilson.
Yeah, I said just Freestone before. I want to say Jack Robinson, obviously, just let me
But
correct.
for me,
Julian, for sure.
Julian Wilson was the surfer, and he still is, even though he's not on tour anymore, but he still is the surfer that actually uses a lot of the wave, and he compresses really hard on those bottom turns. He draws really big lines, and for me, sometimes I don't think he actually ended up, especially on his backhand. I always said that, especially on his backhand, he always hits the lip kind of late because he draws the bottom turn for too long. And not on his forehand is a lot better, but especially on his backhand, sometimes these bottom turns are so long, and he uses so much amplitude on his turns that he actually hit most of the times late. But Kelly also, Kelly uses...
I think since we're talking about references in terms of amplitude, Dane Reynolds.
Yeah,
I think it's really like it's so weird because he makes airs with amplitude.
It's so weird. Yeah, and he has, as we see how much he compresses right now,
Yeah,
and
a lot of rail work as well.
And
there.
it doesn't give any pump. It's all the way from the bottom to the turn without moving his board. And that's really impressive on this kind of
And
waves.
this goes on his top 2. It's a 5-2-3.
It's a 5-2-3, yeah.
So now Thiago is chasing a 4-7-3. Still plenty of time, 14 minutes.
And also, David, you've pretty much traveled the whole world.
So did you guys.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah. Let's just watch the wave of Kai.
Now on his backhand?
First one on his backhand.
Putting pressure on Thiago, huh?
A slash there. He really comes off the bottom.
It's
impressive. He doesn't joke around. Look at this. He's trying to finish this wave. He will. So nice wave. He must be happy. You can see by his
his reaction.
Yeah, and that
posture
was under Thiago priority.
Exactly, because Thiago is probably waiting for something really special. But that's what I was saying like 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago. Sometimes you ended up waiting for too long.
Yeah, that can happen.
That's a big mistake. That
some guys used to say, giving the opposite perspective, that it was more dangerous to be in first place, not in terms of priority, but as well. Let's just watch this.
Now from the beach angle.
First good turn. The second one is nice as well. So, this wave is even better than I thought. In this angle, and he did well to finish it off.
And he's gonna finish strong. He almost misses it there, but then one really nice turn. Yeah,
it's a 7 points.
Yeah, super dynamic on the last turn.
It's incredible. The flow in between turns. He compresses really hard after the turns, and his bottom turns are super clean, and the judges loving it.
Yeah, and he built his advantage the whole time, and the priority of Thiago Carrick. He first improved with a 5-2-3, now a 7. So Thiago is now chasing a 6-5-1, while Thiago got a 6-1-7 on his first one. So that's totally achievable by Thiago Carrick with priority. But a little bit more pressure now on the French surfer by the mask.
Definitely. And just to finish my line of thought,
yes.
It was almost, some guys would say it was almost more dangerous to be in first place when you were competing against Sandy Irons. Because if he was in second place, even if he was waiting for a lot of time, nerves of steel, cold as ice as a competitor. So you never know. There's surfers that can wait for like 10 minutes and then take off on the wave and just do impressive stuff. And that's was actually what I wanted to ask you, David. Because we're watching, for instance, Kai. He's a very rail-to-rail surfer, classic lines. Do you think there's like characteristic traces on continents? The Europeans are more on rail, the Hawaiians are more
really good really good questions. I think definitely that exists, that happens a lot, and you see talking about point breaks, you see the Aussies, the Australians, they're really good on point breaks. There's plenty
They're
of
really
point
sharp.
breaks.
Yeah.
You two guys are not that shy on that as well. We have some really good point breaks in Portugal to practice as well. We have a good mix in Portugal.
Yeah, we have a good mix.
Yeah, we have a good mix. I think, obviously, this is pretty obviously that the Brazilians, they have to adapt to point breaks pretty much traveling. I can't remember one single long point break in Brazil. You know?
I do. But you're from where Italy is. It's a right-hand.
Yeah, it's a right-hand point break.
And you can see it definitely Sharp is surfing. He's really, really good on his backhand. Way
so
better than
maybe a bit
it's
different
a fast wave. Yeah.
when you have like powerful waves. You know, it's more of a wave like trestles. It's a thinner wave. I don't really know if it holds big waves. But Formosa.
No, I don't think so. But
So
it's you can see he's a really good surfer and he's really fast because the wave is really fast.
Yeah.
It all depends from where's your local place.
Exactly.
That suits your surfing.
That's your structure as a surfer.
That's gonna be a structure. You can see Vasco Ribeiro is from a small wave in Cascais called Praia da Poça.
Yeah.
And that wave, it put a line on his surfing. Like this is where you start. And,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same for everywhere in the world. The Hawaiians, the Tahitians, they have an easier side with bigger waves. They adapt better. They have more difficult conditions. They have to adapt in small waves, as Brazilians have a difficulty to adapt our bigger waves. So definitely.
I think you can put more the thing on what they're best and what they're not good at. And I think that you go straight into Brazilians, and one thing is for sure, they're very fast. They're very fast connecting turns. They're very fast on single wave turns. You know, and that has to do with Brazilian beach breaks, pretty much.
Exactly.
So we have one opportunity to show off your game, and that's it. You come to Hawaiian surfers, power. There's no, all of them. They're really comfortable on big waves and powerful surfing, on rail surfing. You know, all of them. Even John has a really good game on the airs. But come on, that
really
carve
good.
at Margaret.
It's one of the best carves.
It's one
in
of the
world,
best,
if not the best right now.
Then you go into Aussies, and there you go. That good mix. You know, they have good barrels. They have really long point breaks. They can really go good, especially on point break waves. And then the Europeans, and I'm just going to ask you that to you guys prior to this. I think we have a huge advantage as surfers in Europe, because we have a little bit of everything. Even on the weather side, you can be surfing on the Azores Islands on 25-degree water, on the south of Portugal on water really warm. Even south of France gets really warm water during summertime. Then comes winter, it's a whole different deal. Like Portugal, it's like 16 degrees Celsius, 15, 17, really cold.
You have really powerful waves.
Really powerful waves. Come summertime, the waves are not as powerful, but so there's a good mix for that. I think we come from a part of the world that has the most different conditions on such a small space. You know, sometimes you think it's really far away, traveling from the south of France to mid-Portugal, but tell that to an Aussie. You know, what's 1,000 k's?
Yeah,
what's 10 hours driving?
Exactly.
It's nothing. It's just visit your neighbor, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I think that puts a lot of advantage. Helps a lot the surfers coming out of Europe. You saw that every single surfer that comes out of Europe, they adapt to all conditions. And obviously, the stronger part, and that's, I believe, why we're seeing so much Portuguese surfers doing good, is that it's the power, like Gervis was saying.
Yeah.
Coming wintertime, we have world-class powerful
I definitely
waves.
feel that, like, if you come from Portugal, from Spain, from France, well, pretty much, these are the countries that have a lot of variety in terms of wave. Of course, you have great waves in Ireland, as we all know, England.
And great surfers as well.
And great surfers
But pretty much more the same. You go to Ireland, it's a lot of slabs. You know,
a lot of slabs, a lot of powerful. Let's just watch this wave. This
Thiago using his priority.
He needs a 6.53, two nice carves. Let's see what this wave has to offer. Kind of dies out here. He's surfing it really well, but
he needs to connect with the inside and explode on the last one. Let's see. One more snap. Unfortunately.
So guys, 617 on his first one. You remember that one?
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. First wave of the heat, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
A left-hander as well. Now he's chasing a 651. So basically, this has to be the second best wave of the heat.
Yeah, and he needs to be better than his first wave, which, in my opinion, wasn't, because he didn't have that finishing turn. So It's gonna improve on that 4 points maybe, but it's gonna be still in second place.
Yeah, if he improves only on the 4, that's going to do nothing for him. The
Exactly.
requirement will stay pretty much the same. If he has to improve on a 6-1-7, at least 6-5-1 will give him the lead now under Kai Odriozola priority. Kai's been on a whole different mood. Since he got the lead of the heat and he got priority, he got like really, he is now really slower than he was before. You saw his wave like maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago, that 7-point ride. So you saw Kai under Tiago Carrick being very active and now being a little bit more selective, as he should.
Yeah, I'm actually really. It's gonna be really interesting to see his strategy right now. It's gonna, because I'm pretty sure. What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna sit and wait, or it just as soon as he sees an opportunity, he's gonna go and up and riding and make Tiago not going on the good one. So I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting because I think Tiago is going to be all over the place, just trying to find an opportunity, and Kai will be waiting it because he has to improve a 5.67. It's not easy on these conditions.
And I don't think priority is kind of an issue right now. There's so many waves, so many of opportunities. I don't think that Kai having priority, it's going to be a huge deal.
Yeah, 5 minutes, really the last moments of this heat, although 5 minutes in the conditions we have, it's not that, it's some time, there's still time for 2 waves, but
it's a lot of time for Tiago Carrick.
And not so much time,
it's the opposite.
It's a lot of time to Kai,
and not so
much time for Tiago.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Giving an answer to your question, I really think you can't really make miracles. So Tiago needs a 6.51. It's a nice score. It's his best wave if he were to do it. So he needs a good wave, period, right? So he's just going to look for that because he knows he either goes for the air, but there's not a lot of sections there, which would help his cause because he's really good on the air as well.
Can't be a single air, Under these conditions, I don't believe there's.
Well, depends on the air.
Yeah, but I don't think there's enough potential out there to get like a huge one,
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I don't think there's waves. The waves aren't really suitable for airs, at least
or at
so
least
far.
for big airs, that give you
big
scores.
airs. Exactly. So a 6.53 on an air has to be a good air. So I really think Kai knows this, and he's not going to go on any average wave. He's just going to hold his priority, as
he's letting Tiago surf.
Yeah, of course, because he knows
it's going to be hard to do a 6.1, 6.5 on this wave. It's a nice first turn. Ooh, that was a nice right-hander.
I'm staying with the right-handers, guys.
I know.
Maybe you're right. There's a lot more opportunity when it comes to turns.
But I've been here the whole week, though, and watching this sandbank, too. So a little bit behind the peak, which gives him an opportunity to do a vertical turn straight away. And then the wave keeps on giving him... then there you go. Then it gets flat, like you said, Flip.
Yeah.
But the first part of the wave...
It's really good.
It's really good. Gives you an opportunity to connect.
We saw Adur making his best wave with a 2-turn combo on a right-hander, so because he had a lot of potential. But I think Tiago is going to improve on this one, no?
Yeah, let's see if it's enough to lower his
3.77.
requirement. No,
still on the same position.
Now 2.5 minutes remaining. Priority with Kai. It's going to be a hard task for Tiago to jump ahead.
Yeah, true. 2 minutes. Kai has the priority. He's doing well to keep it. He's only going to waste it if a wave comes,
and it's
good. Obvious that so he really has the advantage on this one. But you got to give it up to him. He played it really well. Didn't open with the best wave of the first exchange, but kept on pushing it. And you can see his average scores. He threw away a 5 points, a 5.23. So his average level in this heat was very good.
Very good.
Good wave selection. Yeah. Smart strategy, went left, went right. So really nice space in terms of strategy there.
Yes, I totally agree with you. That part of the hits where he got the 5.23 and the 7 under Tiago's priority, I think it was definitely crucial. Exactly. Really good approach by Kai. And like you said, a 3.33, it's his lowest score in the heat. So that tells us every single wave he caught had potential in it.
Yeah, Tiago just maybe make Kai make a mistake? No, not really. The wave is actually, the wave. You think it was a mistake?
Well, wouldn't say a mistake, but
Well, it's 1 minute, remaining.
You could say that this wave didn't have potential for a 6.53. But then again, you never really know, right?
Exactly.
You
That's
never
the
really
thing
know.
about surfing. It's so unpredictable. Everything is changing all the time, and especially on these conditions, you can see Thiago is making sure he was going. Kai was wondering if
Good sell,
the wave
huh?
was good enough.
Good sell by Thiago.
It was a good sell, but the wave had potential. Look, he actually hits it really strong here, and he kind of missed timing on the last one. So
You're stick between a ward and the wall, under this situation.
I'm pretty sure that wave had an air section.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking.
That was an air section.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So if Thiago went for a big air on that,
it could have changed something.
Could have changed the
Yeah.
situation.
So good call by Kai, maybe.
And if
Yeah.
we know that Kai's been watching Thiago surf for ages now,
Yeah.
he knows what he's able to do. So I
there
think
he
that
goes.
was a good call.
Last opportunity there,
In and out.
in and out. That
With
wave didn't
15
have
seconds
potential.
remaining, let's see if Thiago has one more opportunity. That's not going to go under Kai's top two. It's going to be thumping around between the 3.5 and the 4. And Thiago's last opportunity on the right-hander now. Chasing still a 6.51. And, well,
They already did 2 turns. The wave is actually is going to double up.
Is it?
well, it is. Let's see if there's the...
Oh no, he
It
just
dies
died on
out.
it.
It's
Yeah.
really deep there in that part. But
Nice
yeah, this-
surfing by Thiago and really good surfing by Kai
yeah, and
Odriozola.
really nice result as well. Important for next year's qualifying to the Challenger Series. Let's watch the replay.
Nice first turn, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice second turn. The wave just needed to be a little. That was a really good
Yeah,
wave.
he's really good on his backside. So I think, for instance, Thiago is the kind of guy that if there was really good right-handers, he would benefit in small waves from being.
Nice hit by Kai. We have the men's final already turned out. It's going to be 2 Basque surfers. Incredible.
So,
2
like
really
we were
young.
talking
2
before, the Basques are showing up, That's been, like you guys, these are the Filipe Gervis and the Zé Ferreiras of the Basque generation. Yeah, it's true. The previous generation, I can remember, are guys like Aritz, Ode Collaço, Xavier Raola, Goni. There's like, Goni is from Galicia, not from the Basque country.
Yes,
but there's like 8 years, gap between these 2 generations, and I'm amazed to see these guys surfing. And Zorionak, congratulations what they're doing on the Basque Federation, and really good job. Kai's been mentored by a Portuguese, very well-known Portuguese coach, a legend in Portugal, Zé Seabra, with a lot of experience, which I think is doing great things for Kai surfing so far, coming from that area of Spain, the Basque country, actually from Donosti. We're going to go on a break now. We have now local time being, let me check my watch here, 4 o'clock. That's a GMT +1. That's what we're working with. And I think we're going to go on a break until 5:45. So that's an hour and a half from now. We'll come back here in around 90 minutes to update you on what's going on. When we come back, let's see if we're going to come back with the men's final or the ladies semis. It's been a long week. It's been a tough week for the organizers, for the WSL as well. We have a little bit of everything, talking about the adaptation game. Hey, come and spend the last week with us in Pantin, and we have to adapt to everything. We have good waves, flat days, fog coming in the morning, then we have to deal with the tides, the cold water, then it was warmer before, now it gets colder again.
We even had thunder.
And with the thunders actually came like huge fires.
Huge fires. We had a lot of wind. That was the day, a morning that it was actually cyclonic winds, which was that's when we arrived. We arrived Thursday night. It was insane. The wind. Remember on the bridge coming from Vigo?
Yeah.
There's a bridge. The car was going wild and
Was trembling.
yeah.
Flip, go and check the satellite image from that time, and you'll be amazed. It's like a huge circle. Looks like a small hurricane, actually,
really?
on top of the whole Galicia.
Yeah,
You have the summer storms, and the wind picks up like really fast. On the south of France, that happens a lot of time. It's sunny. It sometimes gets like all dark. Thunderclouds come our ways. It starts. The wind comes really, really fast, and that's what happened here. Unfortunately, it's been very dry. We had like a very, very hot days the last few days.
All over Europe.
All over Europe,
Yeah.
especially on the Iberian Peninsula.
It's undeniable, we all feel it. It's changing a little bit in terms of terms of climate.
You mean a little bit? It's changing a lot. A lot.
Yeah, but the changes might be subtle. But when you like the kind of wind that we had the other day when we arrived was a heavy wind.
Yeah.
It's not something you really feel every day. But again, as a surfer, you really need to be prepared to adapt yourself to anything. And
this guy
recovering
right
our
here,
conversation from some time ago, in Europe you do have if you're formed, if you grow up in Europe, you definitely have a good structure to surf anywhere
Any kind
in
of
the world,
conditions,
because
yeah,
you have
that's true.
heavy conditions. Well, maybe not beach breaks, you know, like
Soft waves or
because the
something, or-
European character or
We
characteristics.
have good beach breaks.
We
Yeah,
have
but
good
we
beach
don't
breaks, but we're not the best at beach breaks
Yeah.
if you compare with Brazilians.
You know why?
We do good in Hawaii.
Yeah.
We do good in good waves, right?
We don't do good in Australia because it's kind of a soft place. The waves don't have
Yeah.
that much strain.
You feel that? Because I haven't never been in Australia. You feel that?
I don't know.
It depends on the area of Australia,
Depends,
obviously.
yeah,
you know.
I was-
West Oz is
I
a
was
whole
looking-
different
yeah,
scene
I was
than
looking-
Central
I
Coast.
I was talking about especially Manly.
Yeah.
Well, we had Teresa. She won Manly, so.
But then you have a guy like Tiago Pires qualifying pretty much with a win at the start of the year at Margaret River when Margaret was a prime.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
a very powerful
Oh,
wave.
yeah, yeah.
And West Oz reminds me a lot of the Ericeira,
If you look-
that area of
Yeah, yeah,
Portugal, you know,
definitely.
a lot. You know,
If you
what the
look at-
temperature, the powerful waves.
if you look at Kika's,
We have Kai here,
Yeah,
happy Kai.
yeah. As we see Pantin, there's still a few clouds on top of that mountain.
That's the end of the bay I was talking about, the Roca das Percebes, which we use as an indicator on bigger days. It's a beautiful area. It is. All of this is a protective area. I'll invite all of you to come and visit us.
It's
although it's
incredible.
kind of a foggy day today, but it's the foods, the culture here is amazing as a mix between Portugal and
Exactly.
Spain and a little bit of Ireland with all the Celtic culture in here as well. Obviously, we're very close to the end of the Trail of Santiago, which is a huge thing
it's
for
true.
people to do
Yeah,
it. That
yeah.
walk pretty
It's
much
amazing.
from an amazing walk. Either if you're religious or not, it's a really good walk to do. It can take days if you want to. Depends on the walk that you choose. It can take months if you want
Yeah,
to.
and it's amazing because Pantin has been running for so many years, and you get here
35.
35 years. Thank you.
35, yeah.
And even it might be a 6-star, a 3-star, 3,000 in these days.
But there's a mystique around the
But
event.
there's a mystic, and it's almost like a small festival. The structure here is always amazing. You get here and you're surprised. You know, there's people
There's
watching.
people come from
People come
Coruña,
from you know
yeah.
far away to come because it's just a natural place. There's a mountain that lets you watch the competition really well. So and it's
It's a natural arena.
Yeah, it's a natural
amphitheater.
arena.
There you go.
It's like a
exactly.
natural theater, right? Then you have all the restaurants, all the activations from the brands. You have music.
It's you know, I think it has a different feel, and I believe there's a reason for it. There always been epic waves on this part of the Iberian Peninsula, right around the corner on the west coast, or pretty much on the north coast. On the west coast is called Costa de la Muerte, shore of the dead, you know, because there's so many accidents with boats. It's a very rough part of Europe.
Very
to go-
Atlantic.
Very Atlantic, very rough, you know, and so there's plenty of swell. But as a tradition, most of the events would take place on the Basque Country and on the Bay of Biscay. So from surfers coming from Germany, from Holland, from inside Europe, like doing their trips into Portugal, they did like a diagonal. They go straight from the Basque Country and they pass this area straight to Portugal. So this place stayed a little bit more secluded,
Yeah, that's
more
true,
away
that's
from
true.
the big crowds for a lot of time,
Yeah, it's
which
still really calm.
helped them, as it did the same, I believe, for Portugal. Portugal was pretty much, I'm not going to say discovered, but open up to the huge scene of surfing, let's say, maybe 20 years ago, on the early 2000s. Before that, it's a very genuine culture.
Yeah,
You know, we're
definitely.
alone, not a lot of influence from the outside, you know, and very genuine. I think that's happened. It's a very special place we have here in Pantin. So
that's a
celebrating
great
here in, let's say, under 90 minutes to see what's going to take place.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll be
Yeah,
back
see you
soon.
soon.
See
We'll
you
be
soon.
right back.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
tengo un sueño. Que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
Tú has venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Invoquemos as forzas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritus e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo o virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Camiña a Galicia. Camiña a Galicia. Camiña a Galicia.
Yo tengo un sueño. Que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
Sabré cómo cuidarte, prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. She loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritus e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como queremos!
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Camiña a Galicia.
Y quizá hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en las sombras, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
Es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
Tú has venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%,
venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
Es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en las sombras, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
I wanna shout out to the world so they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. She loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritos e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo o virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
Camiña, Galicia. Camiña a Galicia.
Has venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
Es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en las sombras, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritos e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta.
El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita.
Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos.
Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo,
Es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en las sombras, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritos e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo o virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
Camiña a Galicia.
Venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta. El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita. Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos. Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo, es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en las sombras, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. And she loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritos e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.
hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en la sombra, avanza, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Has venido a mí, yo sabré cómo cuidarte. Prometo recibirte, cumplir con mi parte. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo ser vigía de tus sueños más profundos. Prometo ir a ayudarte sin dudar un segundo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Prometo estar a tu lado en lo bueno y en lo malo. Cuando el miedo surja tenderé mi mano. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo. Nadie va a cuidar de ti mejor que yo.
Yo tengo un sueño, que llegue un día en el que pasen de hacerle bullying al planeta. El mío es que cuando hablen de economía piensen en un círculo y no en una línea infinita. Que esta generación haga del mundo un lugar mejor. Que dejemos de ser tan egocéntricos para ser más ecocéntricos. Tenemos un sueño y cuando todos soñamos lo mismo, es más fácil que se haga realidad.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Non vas poder con nós.
Hayas andado el camino ya. Cuando mires atrás, si estás atrapado en la sombra, avanza.
Camiña a Galicia.
Vivir para cuidarte significa que la vocación médica y la dedicación por el paciente son el corazón de todo. Por ese motivo nace el Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas. Un nuevo espacio donde todas las especialidades médicas relacionadas con tu corazón se unen con la investigación, la docencia, los procesos más innovadores y la atención médica de un equipo de expertos de primer nivel. El nuevo Instituto Cardiovascular Vitas cuenta con la tecnología más avanzada y con los mejores profesionales de cada especialidad, trabajando como un solo equipo por tu salud. Porque en Vitas lo hacemos todo con el corazón en el centro. Vitas. Vivir para cuidarte.
So they know my sweet baby loves me so. She got me going, yeah, she turns me on. She loves me, yeah, she loves me, and it blows my mind. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Podemos vivir Ferrol de muchas formas, a través de nuestras playas y plazas, nuestras gentes, nuestras costumbres. En Parque Ferrol nos lo pone muy fácil a todos los miembros de la familia. Siempre que necesitamos algo, allí lo encontramos y por si fuera poco, disfrutamos juntos. Supermercados, tiendas de electrónica, moda, belleza y mucho más. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo vives Parque Ferrol? Quiere, compra, disfruta.
Invoquemos as portas telúricas da nosa terra para afastar os demos, os malos espíritos e os virus!
¡Fagámolo! ¡Mandemos ao carallo virus dunha vez e volvamos vivir como galegos!
Me llamo Gonizo Bizarreta. Llevo en el agua desde los 7 años. Para surfear las mejores olas del mundo y estar al 100%, sé que necesito recargarme. Yo también soy Mineral Lover.